The Green Bay Packers made a mistake in picking up the fifth-year option of Lukas Van Ness. We'll tell you why next on the Daily Packers Post. Hi, I'm Gil Martin. Welcome to today's episode of the Daily Packers Post, where we bring you in-depth videos on your Green Bay Packers. We have new episodes dropping every day, Monday through Friday. So hit the like button and subscribe so you never miss an episode. Also, visit our website at thepackerspost.com for in-depth articles on your Green Bay Packers. Today, we discuss the fact that the Packers likely made a mistake by picking up the fifth-year option of edge rusher Lukas Van Ness. This was announced on Thursday, and it means that the Packers will be putting Van Ness on a one-year contract for 2027, fully guaranteed, at approximately $14.5 million. Now, there's one way they can change that, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But does Van Ness deserve that fifth-year option? Well, that's really the crux of the question. Van Ness was the 13th overall selection in the 2023 NFL Draft, and when Brian Gutekunst selected him, he knew that Van Ness was a bit of a project. Now, his nickname is Hercules for his size and his athleticism, but we knew coming in he was a raw talent who needed to develop secondary pass rush moves and needed to really get into shape as far as getting ready to play in the National Football League and be successful. And for better or for worse, that prediction turned out to be true. He has seen limited playing time in his first 3 seasons in the NFL. His career high of sacks in a season is 4, which he set in his rookie year, where he also had 10 quarterback hits and 8 tackles for loss. All of those numbers are career highs. In his second season, he played through an injured thumb, so he was limited in his ability to grab blockers with one hand, limited his ability to disengage, but only 3 sacks, 6 quarterback hits, and 6 tackles for loss, even though he played more snaps than he did as a rookie. Last year, he only played 9 games due to injuries, started the first 2 starts of his NFL career, 1.5 sacks, 7 quarterback hits, and 3 tackles for loss in those 9 games. And through 3 seasons in the NFL, Lukas Van Ness has yet to play 50% of the team's defensive snaps in the games that he's appeared in. Now, this year, he is expected to take on a larger role. The Packers traded Rashawn Gary to Dallas over the offseason, so Van Ness enters training camp as the projected starter at one of the edge rushing positions. We also know coming into this season that Micah Parsons is expected to miss 3, maybe 4 games early in the season as he continues to rehab from the torn ACL he suffered last December. So for the first few games of the year, Van Ness is likely going to be the team's number 1 edge rusher. Now, this is his opportunity to prove he's ready to take on a bigger role and be a full-time NFL starter. And Brian Gutekunst did not have the luxury of waiting to see how Van Ness handled that test before deciding on the fifth-year option. He had to make the decision early in May. So it's basically a gamble based on the potential and what Gutekunst expects Van Ness will do going forward. Has he shown enough in 3 seasons to justify a $14.5 million salary? No, I don't think he has. He's once again, Gutekunst is hoping that potential becomes production. Well, in 3 seasons, we haven't seen that yet. And the more beneficial thing that Gutekunst can do is to sign Van Ness to a multi-year extension, which would lower that 2027 cap hit and keep Van Ness in a Green Bay uniform for several seasons. You get a signing bonus that way. You could spread out the money over the length of the contract and the player benefits because he gets the money up front. So that would be a win-win. It would lower the gamble. And if Brian Gutekunst and Russ Ball, the Packers cap guru, can structure the contract in the right way, there would be ways to get out of it without a large dead cap hit after a couple of years. And that would protect the Packers in that way. It's really a gamble what Gutekunst did. We know the talent is there with Lukas Van Ness. The potential is there, but potential means you haven't done it yet. And think about this. In 3 years in the NFL, Van Ness has a total of 8.5 sacks, one more than Rashawn Gary had last year. And the Packers moved on from Gary because of his late season lack of productivity. It's up to Van Ness now to prove that this gamble by Brian Gutekunst was the right move, and hopefully he will do that. And I hope also that the Packers do extend Van Ness to lower that cap hit and make a win-win situation between player and team. But we'll see whether or not Van Ness's agent and Gutekunst can agree on terms and dollars and all of that at some point in the next year. Visit our website at thepackerspost.com for in-depth articles on your Green Bay Packers. Here on YouTube, hit the like button and subscribe so you never miss one of our episodes. I'm Gil Martin. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, everybody. Stay safe. And of course, go Pack Go.